For Telesur, I'm Cody Weddle in Caracas. Ukrainian officials have retracted a prior announcement that Kiev would implement a permanent ceasefire in the country's east. The original ceasefire followed a phone call between Russian and Ukrainian leaders. Ukraine President Petro Poroshenko has issued a new wording that talks of a ceasefire regime. That would indicate a softer, less permanent agreement. A spokesperson for Russian President Vladimir Putin says that Kiev's previous permanent ceasefire declaration was not applicable since Russia is not involved in the violence. Just over a week into the long-term Hamas-Israel ceasefire, new allegations have emerged that Israel has violated the terms of the agreement. With more on the claims, here's our correspondent, Noor Harazin.
It's Wednesday in the Gaza Strip today, over a week since the Israelis and Palestinians agreed on a long-term ceasefire, a month-long ceasefire. However, also today we will report a violation from the Israeli side. Yesterday, the Israeli Navy opened fire towards Palestinian fishermen. Also, there was an incursion reported in eastern Rafah. However, today there has been another violation from the Israeli side. The Israeli Navy detained and arrested 2 Palestinian fishermen that were fishing off the coast of Beit Lahia, northern Gaza. Their friends, or the fishermen committee, said in a statement that the fishermen were fishing inside the 6 nautical miles limit. However, the Israeli Navy approached them and took both of them and their boats to Ashdod seaport.
And thanks again to Noor. During dialogue between the Revolutionary Armed Forces of Colombia and Colombian government continue in Havana, Cuba. The FARC guerrillas hope to create a new command structure to regulate Colombian paramilitary forces. The new system would investigate and guarantee the return of the paramilitary forces to their constitutional role and undo their counterinsurgency activity. Jorge Torres issued the proposal as a response to President Juan Manuel Santos' initiative to create a transitional command that would likely require that the FARC surrender its arms. FARC leaders have rejected Santos' proposal. In Honduras, the national energy company continues to deal with high deficits and has struggled to maintain services. Key cities have experienced frequent blackouts. Some believe the outages may be a political move to push the industry toward privatization. For more, here's our correspondent, Gerardo Torres.
According to manager Emil Hawit, the national energy company in Honduras is on its knees. The company owes more than $80 million to private companies that produce and sell electricity based on fuel, and still doesn't have the capacity to produce the energy the country needs, causing constant blackouts.
I've already explained the losses of the energy company. We haven't had the money to invest. We need more than $150 million to invest and stop technological losses.
Last year, after another crisis, national banks started to control many of the services of the company. Many people believe that the actual crisis isn't only about water levels in the main dams, but more about a political desire to privatize the company.
The company works well. What really happens is that there are other companies and they want to take it all. But the national company works well. I've never had any problems.
Besides constant blackouts, clients also complain that in the last few months, their bills have increased 2 or 3 times.
I am making a claim because my bill is too high and I don't have anything that consumes so much energy in my house. They are robbing me. I am a housemaid, I don't have other work, and they don't help me. I have already come here many times.
This year, the National Energy Company will receive important amounts of money to promote clean energy. This infrastructure could be enough in the midterm to save the company if the government decides to act now. If not, the crisis will increase and privatization is going to be presented as the only option. Gerardo Torres, Telesur, Central America.
And thanks to Gerardo. Ahead of tomorrow's NATO summit, U.S. President Barack Obama reached out to 3 ex-Soviet Baltic states. His comments came at a speech in Estonia. As a counter to what he called Russian aggression, Obama urged NATO to help strengthen Ukraine's military forces. He also says NATO must leave its door open to new members. Obama urged NATO to do more to help its partners Georgia and Moldova. specifically in strengthening their defense forces. All three of the former Soviet states rely on Russian fuel deliveries. Obama will attend the NATO summit in Wales tomorrow. Today, President Obama also insisted that the U.S. will not be intimidated by the Islamic State after the group beheaded another U.S. journalist. Condemning what he called a horrible act of violence, Obama said Washington's goal was for the Islamic State to no longer pose a threat to the region. But he stressed that it would take time and that it could only succeed in close cooperation with partners in the region. In today's press briefing, White House Press Secretary Josh Earnest clarified the president's remarks.
The United States, as you know, has dedicated significant time and resources to trying and rescue Mr. Satloff. I'm not in a position to confirm the authenticity of that video or the reports at this point, obviously, since I just walked out here. But this is, if there's a video that has been released, it is something that will be analyzed very carefully by the U.S. government and our intelligence officials to determine its authenticity.
World-renowned Brazilian photographer Sebastião Salgado is presenting Genesis, his last photography project, in Brasilia, Brazil. His exhibit examines the environment over an 8-year period across 32 countries. He photographed landscapes, animals, and people from the Arctic to the Amazon and to Africa. Salgado was born in Brazil in 1944 and began his career as a professional photographer in Paris in 1973. As always, more on those stories and others at our website, telesurtv.net/English. For Telesur English, I'm Cody Weddle. We'll see you back here this evening.